Hello friends, this is Luis Carlos with Descubre Asheville, and I am downtown right now. Behind me you can see the Advance Monument. See right now it's covered all with black plastic. It looks like some kind of like I don't know, looks like a big garbage bag was put over it. But anyway, the reason why I'm here today is because I'm going to be talking to Jenny Pickens. Jenny Pickens is an African-American artist who lives in Asheville, who I have talked to before. And the reason why we're meeting here is she's going to give me her impressions on her involvement in the Black Lives Matter mural that was done here yesterday. So today is July 20th, 2020. And I just want to get her impressions, what she thinks about her involvement, why she decided to do it, and what does she expect of the city of Asheville to do beyond a beautiful mural.
Okay, so what really gets me about this Advance Monument is it's actually a symbol of some racism that I actually grew up in this town and didn't even realize it till here recently. But this is a place that my family kind of grew up around here. My grandmother and her husband performed up here, and they were right in front of this thing that meant something that was so negative that we never even knew about till recently.
So what do you think about them covering it up with this black plastic or whatever it is?
Oh, what are we protecting by covering it up? Yeah. That's my thing. What are you protecting? Vandalism. But that goes on everywhere. I mean, I'm not understanding what the protection is for.
Well, let's talk about the mural then. Why don't you show us the mural? Let's walk. Jenny, tell me, why did you decide to get involved in this mural? And also, what does this mural mean to you? And what would you like to see happening in this city of Asheville after this mural?
Okay, not only being a person of color, I have a son, I have grandson, I had a father, grandfather, that this actually affected. The fact that the idea you have a child of yours that goes off to work and not knowing if they're coming back, like they're going off to the service and going into the war, it's really scary. It's come to a point now where we would see this on the news. Now it actually is happening, even happening here in Asheville. So we need to bring awareness to this. This is what all this means. It's not about all lives matter. We're talking about black lives, exclusively black lives. So this is a part of it needs just to spark a conversation.
Right on. And just because you use those words like spark this conversation, I'm going to ask you, what are your thoughts on brown lives? Like, for instance, like kids in cages. What does that make you think?
The exact same thing. It feels to me like this is like continue like slavery. You're separating families. You're taking people who come here that they're coming from a place that they didn't have these privileges. This is supposed to be the land of the free. They're coming here to be able to work, provide for their families. And what's wrong with somebody wanting to work and provide for their kids to have the best? That's what we all want to do. It's supposed to be the American dream. Am I right or wrong?
You are right.
That's another thing. We can't stop talking about these things because the thing about this, it makes people uncomfortable. And when you're uncomfortable, you don't know what to do because you're pushed to. You have to actually talk about it. It's no longer us turning the page or turning the channel no more. You're actually involved. This is actually affecting you now. Not the news anymore. This is the news.
Just to tap into what you're saying, not too long ago I had a conversation. In fact, it was with Leah Wong, the owner of Highland Brewing Company. And part of the conversation, I remember we were talking about white privilege. Mm-hmm. So when I touched that topic, I feel like the room got a little tense. But then when I start talking about my brown privilege and how that also separates me with some people within my own community because of my height, because of my facial hair, or perhaps being lighter than some of them. And when I was able to explain to them how I also hold privilege, I feel like that warmed up the room a little bit.
Right.
And the tension somehow, it's not that it went away completely, but there was more of an opening to understand what privilege means.
Exactly.
So thank you for saying that.
Being here from Asheville, and I was recently, like I was telling you before, going years and years and years and years and years trying to make a name for yourself and doing your black art and being turned down in places, is black art all you do? So I wanted to find the people who are going through the same exact thing. There's some talented people here that don't have the schooling. They don't need it. Some people are naturally born, are naturally gifted. So it was a time for them to be exposed and show what they can do. This is their time to shine.
Because you're saying that, it makes me happy to see that you were one of the people commissioned to be able to do this work. Because this very same conversation we had about you, I believe now a couple years ago, you were also like knocking doors, and just what you said, like people were asking you if you were only doing like black art or African American art. However we're referring to it, I feel like they were also questioning your ability to be able to do this work that now finally, it seems to me like you're getting more recognition in your hometown.
Exactly. And the crazy thing is, like I was telling him, in order to get to the point I'm at, I did all kinds of jobs, all kind of work. And I noticed that every job I did, it's like I never would get promoted for anything or because, oh, you can't lead anything. And then all of a sudden this happens. So it's just like a voice for me, okay. And one thing about it, going through this, you got to stay humble. You don't get the big head for anything, because I always believe in a senior person told me one time that if God gives you a gift, you have to share the gift, or he's going to take the gift away from you. This is history being made.
You're right.
I don't care what anybody says. I don't feed on that negativity that's going through social media. That's not me. I can get entertained that all day, but I don't have time for that. I'm too busy changing lives out here. I want a chance for my grandson, my son, and my generations to come to know that this is part of what they did. My son, I told him yesterday, I said, you've made history. This is something we can pass along to your children. And this is just, nobody can ever take this. They can tell you that you don't look good today, that doesn't matter, but they'll never take away what happened yesterday here in Asheville, North Carolina.
Thank you, Jenny.